Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are impartially unpacking an absolutely staggering hypothetical scenario pulled straight from our source material. We're talking about the massive, mind-bending gap between official UAP denials and the alleged creation of entirely hidden human space fleets. It's a fascinating thought experiment, and it asks a really profound question. What if the biggest hidden truth isn't just that the government has alien craft locked away somewhere, but something infinitely larger and way more complex? Let's jump right in with a quote from the text that perfectly captures the sheer scale of this theoretical architecture. A secret large enough becomes a government inside the government. I mean, wow. This single line is really the beating heart of the model we're exploring today. It suggests that when a secret gets this monumental, the original reason for hiding it just kind of fades away, and the system's only real goal becomes, well, self-preservation. So here's our roadmap for peeling back these concentric circles of secrecy. We'll be looking at 1. The public reality. 2. The Navy's solar fleet. 3. The Air Force's lunar gate. 4. The hidden vaults. 5. The non-human threat. And finally, number 6, what the real disclosure might actually look like. All right, starting with Section 1, the public reality, the gap between law and denial. We're starting here because this scenario isn't just pure science fiction. It actually builds on a very real, very public contradiction. Out in the open, you and I can see a glaring contradiction. On one hand, we have recent federal laws literally and explicitly outlining processes for UAP material retrieval and reverse engineering. But on the other hand, the official government stance, via AARO, states there is zero verifiable evidence of extraterrestrial technology. The source material argues this is no accident. It's the public shadow of a massive, hidden fight. To explore the weird space between those two facts, we're operating within an assumed model today. We're going to impartially map out a theoretical web of rival factions. In this model, the story is far, far bigger than just UFOs flying around. Imagine a scenario where sitting presidents are kept completely in the dark, rival nations are bound by an unspoken silence, and the secrecy regime runs incredibly, astonishingly deep. Moving on to Section 2, the Navy's solar fleet, silent running in deep space. Now, a crucial turning point in this theory is how elements of the U.S. Navy supposedly used retrieved technology to literally beat everyone else into the deep solar system. If you really think about it, submarines are the perfect, logical starting point for a secret space fleet. According to the text, pairing non-human propulsion with submarine architecture makes total sense. Why? Because they're already sealed, nuclear-powered environments purpose-built for extreme, long-duration isolation. Plus, the ocean provides the ultimate classified cover, right? It totally swallows the noise, the telemetry, and the visuals of off-world launches, completely bypassing the public eye. This hierarchy reveals exactly where our visible Space Force fits into the model. It's just the surface layer. The Space Force manages the ordinary public space missions. They act as a buffer. Just beneath that, you have the black human space power, the hidden Navy and Air Force fleets. And then, at the absolute bottom, lies the non-human contact architecture, the hidden landlord that nobody publicly admits even exists. That brings us to Section 3, Air Force's lunar gate, the shield around the door. As we peel back this next layer, we encounter the Air Force's fierce and urgent reaction to the Navy's deep space dominance. The source describes two vastly different, almost rival priesthoods. The Navy operates this patient, long-duration fleet way out in the solar system. The Air Force, however, manages a fast, kinetic, Earth-adjacent defense grid, essentially a shield right around the moon. You see, to the Navy, the moon is just a harbor mouth, but to the Air Force, it's the ultimate strategic high ground. We're looking at two entirely distinct cultures built around different temples of forbidden technology. And you know, this intense inter-service rivalry naturally begs a really critical question. If the Navy and Air Force are too busy pointing fingers, accusing each other of compromise and recklessness, who is actually holding the technological keys to this entire secret architecture? Well, let's look at Section 4, the hidden vaults, contractors, and the illusion of oversight. This exposes the corporate layer, where the real secrets are supposedly vaulted away, securely held by entities that outlast any elected official or military commander. Let's talk about the weaponized use of compartmentalization, as it's described in the text. It's a system literally designed to protect secrets by dividing them up among private contractors. But there's a huge, fatal flaw here. While it secures the information, it totally stalls actual scientific progress.
The source likens it to trying to assemble a massive cathedral with every single mason blindfolded. Because no one has the full picture, true scientific integration is essentially murdered. Just imagine for a second what that means for our understanding of the universe.
And this system also ensures that temporary politicians, even presidents, are kept completely in the dark. How? Not through outright lies, but through legalistic, boring vocabulary. If a president asks about extraterrestrial craft, the machine can truthfully say they don't have any. Why? Because internally the craft is classified as non-attributed advanced technology. Oversight literally dies by vocabulary. The system treats elected leaders as politically exposed civilians with an expiration date. Which leads us to Section 5, the non-human threat, contact as contamination. Now we reach the dark core of this theoretical model, the non-human entities that might be manipulating this entire fractured system right from behind the scenes. What's truly fascinating here is the alleged playbook of these entities. In this scenario, they don't just invade openly like some Hollywood blockbuster. Instead, their strategy is contact as contamination. They use selective technology transfer to make human factions dependent on them. They enforce mutual suspicion. They inflate threats to rush human decision-making, and they poison the narrative with hoaxes. It's a brilliant if terrifying psychological war designed to divide our planetary organs. Their ultimate weapon? Fragmentation. In this theoretical model, the Navy gets the outer map, the Air Force gets the inner gate, and contractors get technical fragments. Meanwhile, intelligence gets narrative control, and presidents are reduced to managed symbols. By ensuring every single human group holds only a tiny, dependent fraction of the truth, these non-human intelligences ensure that humanity never acts together as one unified brain. Finally, Section 6, the real disclosure. Integration over panic. We have to examine how this fragile, secret international compact could eventually end, and what real disclosure would actually require from all of us. The source lays out 5 potential endgames for this hidden architecture. Number 1, controlled disclosure. A slow drip of softened information. 2, a catastrophic leak of undeniable proof. 3, factional civil war, where internal groups weaponize the truth against each other. 4, a forced reveal by the NIH on hostile terms. And 5, a human sovereignty revolt, where insiders cross branches and nations to verify truth together. The text strongly suggests this last option is the only hopeful path, even if it's by far the hardest. The most staggering takeaway from this entire source material is a profound shift in perspective. The ultimate moral injury isn't the ontological shock of aliens existing. The true civilizational shock is the realization that human progress has been deliberately steered, contained, and compartmentalized. It's a massive crisis of legitimacy, waking up and finding out that the greatest scientific dataset in human history was intentionally hidden from the public. So, we'll conclude our explainer today with a final provocative thought. If this entire architecture is true, the real secret isn't that we aren't alone, it's that we were purposely divided. And if that's the case, the very first act of liberation isn't building a better weapon, it's comparing notes. Integration, not isolation, becomes our only path forward. Thanks for joining me as we unpacked this absolutely incredible theoretical model.